The Suns played the Celtics just under a week ago and lost 117 to 107. That was here. That was home. Now we go to their house, TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts, Beantown, ladies and jamsters. And who a team that's 29-3 at home showed us why. Good old-fashioned shellacking tonight. Suns lose. Final score 127 to 112. A lot of reasons why. A lot of reasons why you could be concerned. Should you be concerned? I don't know. These are questions we're going to have to answer right here on the Suns Jam Session podcast. So thank you for joining us. My name is John. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Suns Jam Session podcast, managing editor of Bright Side of the Sun. And I'm joined by Matthew Lissy. How are you doing, Matthew Lissy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing, John?
I'm good. It's 6:44 local time.
I know, it's pretty awesome. You know, the worst part is just getting home to make it by the second quarter. But when you're done, you're like, oh, I have like 2 or 3 hours to hang out. And what do I do at night?
I haven't even eaten dinner yet.
You haven't eaten dinner?
No. Same time last podcast. Same thing. Like I hadn't eaten dinner yet. And I think I'm just going to go get myself some Taco Bell tonight.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I got some Chick-fil-A tonight.
Yeah. Ooh, Chick-fil-A actually sounds kind of good. Low in points. Maybe I'll go with Chick-fil-A. So, yeah, Suns, Celtics, best team in the NBA. A finals preview, right, Matthew?
Yeah, called it. And it was the second time. So both Celtics games, I predicted that the Suns would win 110 to 107 with Kevin Durant blocking Jason Tatum's game-tying 3.
Oh, yeah, you did write the preview. I was hoping it would come true
the second time. Yeah, that's the second time I predicted that.
Ofer.
I thought that's why you said that, because that's what I said.
Well, no, you said on the game preview for Bright Side of the Sun that this could be in the subheading. It was like this could be a finals preview.
Yeah,
I was like,
can be still. Maybe.
If it is, we're pretty fucked. But
yeah, but the jerseys look good together. That's the only reason I want to see it.
Yeah, it's like 1976 all over again. Am I right?
That's good.
Well, plenty to talk about on this edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast. So we appreciate you hanging out, whether you're watching live or later or listening later. Thank you for doing so. Truly, truly appreciate it. From the bottom of my broken heart, something time, Britney Spears. I think I'm going to need to pop open a beer. I don't know about you, Matthew.
Go for it.
Okay. What are those designs on your shirt?
Oh, they're little palm trees.
Little palm trees. That's
Do you
adorable.
like it?
I think it is. I like it.
Okay, good.
Are they teal or green?
Green.
Like the Celtics. Cheers, fuckers. Buck 27 to Buck 12. The Phoenix Suns lose at the hands of the Boston Celtics tonight, Jamsters. And I know that you're frustrated. I know that you're upset. Nobody likes to get their ass kicked like the Suns did, like get their teeth kicked in. Not a good feeling. And it brings me to my first question.
Oi, Matty. Mate, I've got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask. 127 to 112. You can see the score right there on the screen. How do you feel after this loss? Emasculated? Or did you want to put on a shirt that had a little green on it, getting yourself ready for St. Patrick's Day with palm trees?
I was laughing so hard during the intro because it's so funny. When I go to the games, I always end up wearing like the other team's colors. I don't know what it is all the time. Like, that's just shit I do. And then I come on here like, oh, yeah. Like, I just got this shirt last week. I'm like, it's the only one that was clean. It's black. I'm like, it's black. It's close enough.
Nobody will notice. John notices.
So the question, how do I feel?
Yeah, like,
am I worried? Are we doing?
Yeah, all that.
Worried? All that stuff.
All that
stuff.
Stuff.
You know, I am worried. Of course I am. I really am. But there's nothing I can do about it. I think my frustrations really lasted till the third quarter. And then I kind of just like, I accepted that they were going to lose. And I accepted that this might still not be the team. And I don't know when we'll ever see it. So it's tough to ask, like, should you be worried? Should you not? Because we kind of have to, because it's almost the end of the year. Obviously, this is just stating the obvious over here. I just don't know when we're going to see it. Seeing Booker's face in the fourth quarter to start the fourth, when the Suns had to call out timeout entering because the Celtics could not miss a three. Just that look on his face is like, fuck, man, this sucks. It just reminds me of the face when he lost the finals. Like he just looks really depressed over there right now, man. So it's hard to watch.
We knew that coming into this game, one, it was going to be a challenge. Boston, like I said in the introduction of the show, is 29-3 at home. This is a team that plays unbelievably well at home. They're a team that has best-in-class defense. They're a team that is one of the best three-point shooting teams, if not the best three-point shooting team in the league. They're a team that can beat you in multiple different ways. And it is a good benchmark to go on the road and see how you can perform against a team like this. Now, granted, last week we lose to them by 10. No Devin Booker, came back a few times. They get a big lead. We cut it to 3. They get a big lead. We cut it to 3. You saw some resiliency from Phoenix. That was a bright spot and something to hold on to, knowing that there's been some floundering post All-Star break from the Phoenix Suns. You then take a look at this game, and they just get swashbuckled. 65-60 at the half, mind you. A game in which you felt, okay, we're in this. We're not playing our greatest, but we're definitely in this. We have some offensive firepower. Obviously, it's the Suns, the way that they're built. We can hang in here with them, right? But then you look at the second half overall, and 127-112 doesn't do it justice. It really was an ass kick. And I mean, 37-25 in the third quarter is what happened to the Suns. And that's what kind of ended the whole game, I feel. They gave up 8 of 15 from beyond the arc. They gave up 12 of 25 from the field. And not a bad quarter from the Suns. They shot 50% from the field and 66.7% from beyond the arc. But it was just one of those situations where if you're benchmarking yourself against other teams in the NBA, that's where, as Suns fans, we're kind of at. You go and you play Denver last week, almost a week ago. What day is it today? Thursday? So a week and 2 days ago, because it was a Tuesday. And guess what? We beat them. You're like, okay, so we might not beat them all the time, but we have the capacity to do so. You play Boston well. This team in Boston is just a really, really good team. They're best in the league. They shot 53s and they made 25 of them. I'm not upset. I'm not even worried right now, because if we ever play Boston in the NBA Finals, that's so far in the future. I can't even imagine it right now. Again, one game at a time. We got Charlotte tomorrow. I'll focus on that, I guess. You're on mute.
Oh, that off, mute.
You're
I
off
was
of
like,
mute.
That one or this one? Which one? I'm like, oh shit. It's
double muted. The worst.
Yeah, Okay, continue. And we're live. All right, so
we're live.
The Phoenix Suns are seen as a team that, by certain people that they can maybe hold up against the Denver Nuggets. And then when you listen to like Bill Simmons or even Kevin O'Connor, they don't think that the Celtics have a chance against the Nuggets. So is this just like a bad matchup? Is this just a matchup where the Celtics went nuts shooting from beyond the arc?
Yes.
50%. It could be. And if I was like, okay, well, they're just making everything. They're getting the second chance opportunities, which they were, but they were closing out good, but they're still just making these ridiculous threes. They were at times, but the spacing was just so good. Those passes that were moving around the perimeter were just so fast. The Suns had no chance of catching up to them, because anytime they did, the ball was already on the bottom of it was like already going right through the net. So it's one of those things where you can think of like the Suns just not being good enough against the Celtics team that they rarely ever play, going across country to do this and playing in tomorrow night. You can think that deep into it, but then also it's like, if you want to go any deeper, they also might think like, maybe our time is running out this year. Maybe we don't have enough time. Maybe this sucks, because if we don't pull this together and we're a playing team and we're out, then we have to do this again next year. And like, no Suns fan, I know I'm looking too far ahead, but that's just what I do. No Suns fan wants to look that far ahead, to where it's like, shit, man, if they are bouncing the first round because they can't get it together yet, we go into this offseason and we just have to do the same thing again next year. Just hope to God that we don't get hurt again. So that's a depressing part of it.
Yeah, and see, that's where this loss doesn't take me to those places as a fan. It really doesn't. It's more of a respect for what Boston is than, oh, hey, the Suns are fucked. and that's how I feel. There's a lot of opportunity to improve. There's a lot of things that you can take away from this game and go, you know what? We can improve a little bit on perimeter defense. But ultimately, Boston just played out of their mind tonight.
Ooh, Dave, stat me.
Shout out to Dave King. RIP to the King. 25 made threes by Boston. Okay, 25. They've done that 2 other times this season, and that's the most that they've made. Okay, only 1 other time did they make 25 made threes and in less field goal attempts. They were 25 of 50 tonight. They were 25 of 49 on March 3rd, just 11 days ago, against the Golden State Warriors. This team, if they make 17 or more three-pointers, they're like 30. Let's see. I'm doing the math here. Add tonight 30. They're 31-2. 30 on 17 or more three-pointers. It's just ridiculous. And that just goes to show you that's one aspect of their game, because they can beat you in so many different ways. But also, as a team, they're averaging a total of 16.3 made threes. Number 1 in the league. 3-point shooting percentage, number 3 in the league. Going up, obviously, after tonight. This team entered 51-14. They're just a really, really good team. They are the class of the NBA right now. And so much can happen between now and another time. And we just have to focus on, okay, is there anything we can learn from this game? And I'll ask you this question, Matthew. Is there anything that we can learn from this game?
Honestly, we can learn that
Boston's
this is what
really
I learned.
good.
This is what I really learned. This is the real deal right here.
Oh, real talk by Matthew. That needs to be a drop. Real talk by Matthew.
That the other option we have in Grayson Allen is there. We don't really have much else around him. Do I believe in these other guys to be serious contenders like Devin Booker, Bradley Beal? Kevin Durant, yes, but Bradley Beal, he's still not there yet. I think I've had one game this season where I really saw a guy that maybe can lead us to a championship. That was when him and Kevin Durant came back.
But he doesn't need to lead us to a championship.
I know, but listen, so Booker needs to be the other guy, but he has to be our point guard. He has to be the guy to bring the ball up and be the main focus, because right now what I've also learned is they still don't know who's going to lead this team. Booker's the only guy that can lead this team. Beal, on the other hand, has to step up in certain situations when Booker's on the bench. So when Beal and Durant are in there together, then they need to figure that out. You haven't seen much of that yet. But Booker needs to make sure that he asserts himself as a leader. He was on the JJ Redick podcast. I'm sure we'll talk about that boring podcast. And I just didn't get a lot from him on that at all. But I was just like, you know what? He needs to come out and he needs to be the focus as a leader of this team and just show like, hey, like when we need someone to step up, he can be that guy. My monitor just went out, so I don't know if you can see me.
I can
it's
see
just
you.
all black right now. He needs to be that guy. So I just learned tonight that he's still not there yet. And that's always the thing. It's like, not yet. All these guys I don't see it yet. It's not there yet. So obviously we can talk about the Celtics and how great they shot, how good of a team they are. But what I'm seeing from the Suns team is they're just not there yet. And I don't know what they ever will be.
So Bradley Beal scored the second most points on the team tonight, 9 of 17 shooting. I liked what I saw from Beal tonight. He had 7 assists. He was setting his team up. He had a steal. He had a block. I feel like he was doing a lot of the ancillary things. They started which quarter? Was it the second quarter or the third quarter? Where maybe it was the beginning of the fourth, it was the beginning of the fourth, where both Booker and Durant sat. Beal was out there. It was him. It was Bol. It was, who else was out there at that time? Let me pull up the lineups here. I think Grayson Allen was out there with him, and he looked great in that first stretch without them. There was some stabilization. So I actually liked what I saw from Beal. I'm with you. Is he there yet? No. But I feel like every game he's getting closer and is stepping in the right direction. And his speed tonight was fantastic. They were talking about on the subreddit for the Boston Celtics how he has a little AI in him because of his shiftiness. And you're seeing the shiftiness and you're seeing some controlled shiftiness. Whereas coming into tonight, and I mentioned this a couple games ago, but his first few games back, it's like he was too shifty for himself. And that there was an issue. And he's starting to play with a little bit more control. And so I like what I'm seeing. And again, like I'm not going to utilize playing Boston tonight on the road in TD Garden as a true measuring stick of this team for my expectations. My expectations, and I see people in the chat. It is a deflating loss. Joel Ramirez says it. We're now the 8th seed. And that is troubling. There are some challenges because of some things that have led to us to this point of the season. But there's also, when you talk about being the 8th seed, we're also right in the thick of things, playing Charlotte tomorrow. So that could very easily turn on a dime. We're tied with the Dallas Mavericks record-wise, and we're half game behind the Sacramento Kings. And they lose a game and all of a sudden everything flips. So I'm not overly concerned with that. I like what I'm seeing from this team. A $112 against them, not the greatest, but I don't know. I'm not in a doomsday sense. And Joel, and thank you for the super chat, $2. He says, I no longer believe this team can win a chip. And maybe this is why I'm not overly concerned. If you guys recall, about 11 days ago, I tweeted out, tonight I've achieved acceptance. Accept that this Suns team ain't it. Accept that this isn't going to work. Accept the flaws. Accept that they are not on the same level as numerous teams in the NBA. You'll be happier. Maybe that's where I am. I've accepted that this team isn't a championship team at this point. And because of that, I'm not overly I'm just not getting myself. I'm not beating up myself. I'm not furious like we lose to Charlotte tomorrow, I will be fucking furious. But this is Boston. I'm not furious.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still really pretty upset, but in my notes, I had Beal handle the ball very well. He started, like he said, the second half handling the ball. The fourth quarter did the same thing. It looked good, but all I'm saying is when you're going up against Jaylen Brown, I was so excited that Jaylen Brown was playing tonight because I want to see them at full force. I know Porzingis was out, but you still had White, you still had Drew Holiday there as the point guard or the guard defenders. So it's like, oh, we get to see that. And then we get to see, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, what they can do defensively and offensively, if we can actually keep up with them. So do we have the guys that can keep up with them? No, we don't. So that's the most important part.
No one in the NBA can.
Beal's good. Beal. Okay, well, our thing is this year is we want to win a championship. So we got to beat teams like this, and we got to look.
And we're not going to.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I want to. I know. I want to win a championship. So what I'm saying is, if I'm looking at this team to win a championship, that's not good enough. And yeah, there's good points in the game. Is it good enough? No. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, I'm not
agree.
That's why I'm upset. I would love for this team to win a championship, but not going to happen ever.
Well, here's something that could make me upset. Do you want me to get my blood up a little bit to meet your blood, just so we can both be a little upset? I got one for
blood. I had no blood.
Your blood's up. Oh, TF timepiece. Answer this question, Matthew. Are we a coach away from putting the puzzle together?
Oh, jeez, yeah. Seriously, you want me to answer that? I don't fucking know. All I know is tonight, Frank Vogel, that technical, we can't allow 1 point to the other team. So the thing is
right though.
Okay. Yeah, but a coach really is going to help with the injuries? I don't think so. No, there's no way. Kevin Durant missing shots. No.
So now my blood does get a little bit up. Maybe that's what you came here to see, Jamsters, is some frustrated John. There's a couple things that just annoy me. Okay, and this is one of them. And no offense to TF Timepiece. I appreciate you watching along and supporting the channel. But there's a couple narratives out there that just drive me absolutely fucking crazy. One of them is this, that, if we had a new head coach, it would that's the answer. Does anybody remember the 2010s where every season we had a new coach? And there was no stability. Frank Vogel was being interviewed by John Bloom prior to the game. Because, yes, I listened to about half of the first quarter on the drive home myself, just like yourself, Matthew. And the interview, John Bloom was asking him about the defense. And Frank Vogel said, the installation of a defense takes time. And we're just at that point of the season where something's just really starting to click. Okay? He goes, once you hit year 2, then it's really dialed in. And that's not to say, you look at the Boston Celtics, great example, right? Their core has been there for 5-6 years. Their core has made it to the finals and Eastern Conference finals. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both have. Okay, so they have instinctual, organic chemistry. So defensive systems takes time, especially with the team that's a great offensive team. And that's what the Suns have the potential to be consistently, is a great offensive team. So yeah, you know what the best thing for that is just pull and put another coach in, and then he fails, and well, it's got to be the coach again. And it's like, where's the accountability for the players? So that's one thing that drives me crazy. The other thing that drives me crazy is when people are sitting there and just going, "Why aren't we seeing Thaddeus Young, man? We need more Thad."
Yeah.
That answer
Yeah, that'd be
drives
an
me up a
answer.
wall. It's all it's the
Uh,
it's the grass is always greener syndrome. Because we overanalyze basketball, and because we're fans, we're everyone who's watching this right now, you love the Suns, you watch every game, you notice the opportunities and the mistakes that are made. And guess what? Mistakes are always made in every sport. If everybody was perfect all the time, everyone would shoot 100% from the field, everyone would get all the playing time, and it would be boring as shit to watch. But the grass is always greener theory is, well, if Drew Eubanks didn't position himself appropriately on that rebound, he sucks. Put Thad out there because Thad would have. Well, one, you don't know that. And two, Thad is older, slower, not as tall, not as wide. Okay. He is a buyout market player. And so there's this thinking that you need to have every guy on the bench play because we need to see everybody. No, we're at the point of the season right now, Suns fans. I'll Demikambe Mutombo, not here, not in this house. We're at the point of the season where you need to instill confidence in the guys who are playing, like Drew Eubanks. Does he have some bad plays? Absolutely. Does it frustrate me? Absolutely. Do I think that negating his 15 minutes a game is the answer? No, it's not. So what does that do? Well, that makes Drew Eubanks sit there, and now he doesn't have confidence in himself. And now he's sitting there like, oh, every time I make a mistake, he's looking over his shoulder because he might get pulled. So guess what he stops doing? Being aggressive because he's afraid of making a mistake. We've seen that happen earlier this season with all the guys who we shipped out to Brooklyn and Memphis because they were playing too tentative, afraid not to make a mistake instead of risking it and trying to make the right play. At least Drew's out there trying to make the right play. His positioning might be bad, but at least he's up there trying to volleyball it back. He just volleyballs up to the other team and it starts a fast break and it makes us all mad. And a great example of this is David fucking Roddy. David Roddy gets traded for, and what happens? And why is David Roddy not playing? Well, we really should see Roddy play. Roddy comes out and plays against the Celtics last week. Line drives, 2 fucking 3-pointers, clanking off the rim, horrible shots. Nobody says anything. It's like, you guys have been pissing and moaning for a week and a half on why aren't we seeing more Roddy? That's why. You bring Thad. Does anyone remember the 29 minutes that Thad Young played this season in 2 different games prior to tonight? He looked old and slow. He looked like the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. You need to throw some oil in his joints to get him going. So I get the frustrations and there's challenges with this team. I completely understand those. But at the same time, I don't think that we need to sit here and go, the grass is greener. Thaddeus Young's the answer. If Thaddeus Young is the answer, a buyout market guy at 35 years old, then we are fucked. The season is over. Okay, period. Exclamation point. Question mark?
I love the ending. The thing is, it's up to a couple guys on the team. All it is up to is KD, Book, and Beal. If they can figure it out, then they all figure it out. It all will become a well-oiled machine. But just like the Suns' little run they went on last week, where we felt a little bit better, with Book even being out, when KD and Beal would come out and they would start strong, like you can feel the energy. Like when the ball was moving, when they weren't turning the ball over. Just like today's game, it was close to halftime. It was a game, right? But it's up to those guys to bring the energy and just hit their shots, right? It's up to Book not stepping on someone else's foot, hurting his ankle every game. But it's up to Coach Vogel to really make the adjustment of just playing Bol 20 minutes a game. Plus, he has to do it to make me happy. I know no one else really gives a shit about that, but there's certain things that Frank Vogel can't do. It's up to those 3 guys to figure it out. And if they don't within these last few games that they had this season, which is 16 games, then obviously they're not going to win anything. But Booker and KD and Beal need to be those guys, and they need to know what else they have around them and how to use it. And they were very, very close, but it's just games like this that might just punish. Like, I feel like they might be punished or something after this, but they have to keep their head up and move on to the next game. Like you said, against the Hornets, losing that game or making that game competitive, then you might show some more concern. But right now, I think we all are just kind of knowing this team might not be it. So we're okay with that.
Yeah, like I said, I tweeted that 11 days ago. All of a sudden it hit me. I was like,
I
yeah,
know.
man, because
Just
we're
ignore it though, dude.
of course, man. We love this team. We care about this team. We podcast about them every single night. To see them get swashbuckled tonight and just have this realization, it's like, oh shit, man, there's other teams in the NBA that are just in a completely different class than the Suns. That's just the way it is. Now, a lot of things can happen between now, the postseason, and what happens in the postseason. The Suns, and one of the things that Frank Vogel said in that interview with John Bloom is, hey, I'm trying to get this team ready for the postseason. I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck that means, but I mean, just
Fuck.
all right, Kevin Durant.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
This is a weird game for Kevin Durant because he started 7 of 8 from the field
Yeah.
in the first quarter, 15 points. And then he realized I had a little money on him to hit just over 22 as a part of a parlay.
Whoops.
And he ends with 20 points on 9 of 19 shooting. So after a 7 of 8 first quarter, he goes 2 of 11 for the remainder of the game, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 3 turnovers from KD. What happened with Kevin Durant in this game? I really don't know. And yes, John Tran, goes, this swashbuckled worse than boat raced? It is tonight. Swashbuckled's like I don't even know what that means. It sounds like a pirate term. So
It does, yeah.
I think I've said it like 3 times.
I think it's like a
don't
Mumford and Sons song or something like that.
Swashbuckled.
KD tonight, it's one of those things where he's missing those pull-up shots that are very difficult. And then on the other side of the ball, it's just the Celtics are just draining everything without any help stopping ball and anybody picking up anybody behind the line, behind the arc. So I think KD was just having a struggle there, and then it's not really a mental thing. It's just like he just wasn't hitting anything. Then you have the whole foul thing where it looked like a few times he was getting fouled. I know the NBA has gotten a little bit better of not calling too much, but KD does get hit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point towards the end of the game where I felt like KD was just going to get ejected because I think on the last attempt I think it was under the rim. He looked like he got swatted. I guess the ref thought it was all ball, but it sounded like a lot of arm, and KD was all up in his face to not get ejected. But he was frustrated tonight, definitely. And I feel like the Suns themselves fed into a lot of what the refs weren't calling. I mean, like I mentioned earlier with Frank Vogel going out on the court and getting a technical, they had to maintain a focus there because they had a 7-0 run there in the third quarter to cut the lead to 5. And then all of a sudden they're worried about foul calls and stuff like that.
Foul, non-foul call 3, non-foul call another 3. He lost his shit like that.
Yeah, and then Beal gets knocked over. Gets knocked over by White, and they don't call it, and then the Celtics get a 3 on that possession. So it's tough to watch, but it's one of those things where it's like, well, can you maintain some composure because the game's within reach? I don't really think they lost too much composure. I just think the Celtics just out-bustled them or whatever you guys are talking about in the chat. And that was basically it. Swashbuckled.
Yeah,
I think that was basically it. Because in the past, the Suns would get upset, and they would ruin their chances of ever coming back in a game, but I don't think that was really the issue tonight. I think it was just one of those wasted games by just a lot of three-pointers made.
I hear you there, but you bring up an interesting point, and I definitely think it's worth a conversation. It's something that Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo mentioned on a podcast earlier this week. No, I know.
I love talking about
we both listen to him. In fact, I was talking to one of my buddies at the office, I think yesterday, and he's just like, so I was listening to the rewatchables. I was like, me too. Like, we listen to the same time. I'm like, did we just become best friends? Shout out Ryan. We are best friends. So one of the things that they were talking about is how kind of across the board in the NBA since the All-Star break, it's been officiated differently. That there's been a lot of discourse this season relative to ticky-tack fouls, defenders not having the ability to operate in any space, the jumping into guys like what Jaylen Brown did to Devin Booker tonight, but Jaylen Brown got the benefit of the call where he just bowled into him, pushed him away, and then they called it on Booker. So I guess that's a bad example. But for the most part, you go back to the game against the Celtics last week, and KD was getting hacked. And you look at it tonight, and he's getting hacked. And it goes both ways. The Suns are hacking the shit out of people too, and they're not getting the calls. And it's almost as if at the All-Star break, when everybody was together in Indianapolis, that Adam Silver's like, listen, we need to, he put all the officials into a room, locked the doors, locked the windows, didn't allow them to breathe. Scott Foster's on the ground, slowly becoming a lizard person like he is. He's blinking sideways and everything. And they told them, like, listen, you need to call the game a little bit more fair as it pertains to allowing defensive players to defend. Allow it to be a little bit more physical. And there is some merit to this. And this is what I bring up. Okay. So if you look just at the Suns before the All-Star break, okay, So All-Star break was when was the All-Star game? Okay, I got it. So the Suns played a total of 55 games pre-All-Star break. They got called for 18 and a half fouls, and their opponents got called for 21 fouls a game. All right, 18 and a half for the Suns, 21 for their opponents. Since the All-Star break, not including tonight, they've played in 10 games. 17.3 fouls by the Suns, 18.9 fouls by their opponents. That's almost 2.1 fouls less by their opponents. And there's about, I'm sure you can hear Laney going crazy. Just got home from Flagstaff. And about, a foul and a half less for the Suns. Now, that's a lot. That's a lot on that big of a scale. On 10-game scale, that's 100 less fouls. So you're seeing that across the league where there's a lot more physicality being allowed. And some teams need to adjust to it, and some teams need to accept the fact. And the Suns, believe it or not, they whine a lot. Nurkic whines a lot. That Booker, I say, whines an appropriate amount. KD whines a lot too. And so they need to adjust to that as well. It's like, listen, you are going to get hacked. Now, granted, KD got hacked against the Boston Celtics last week and still went for 45 points. But if you look at it again, total free throw attempts, all right, since the All-Star break for the Suns, they've attempted on average 23.9 free throw attempts per game. If you look at it before the All-Star game, that number was 25.1. So again, it's a free throw less, which is, there is an impact out there. I think that they're officiating it differently. I do see that changing once we go to the playoffs, because it's like anything that they do in basketball, right? They're like, we're going to put in the take foul. Okay, that's what we're doing. All preseason long, we're calling it. And the first 10 games, they're calling the take foul and the technical flop. And now I haven't seen the only guy who gets technical flops in this league is Drew fucking Eubanks.
That's it, huh? And then when Bobo hangs on the rim?
Yes,
I think that's about all you see. Yeah, it's it's kind of nice, but I mean, Nurk, I was gonna say it keeps Nurk out of foul trouble a little bit, but he did foul out against Jokic, which is Jokic.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing with Nurk, I agree. His whole thing with looking at his arms like, hey, I got hacked over here, and he's not getting back down.
Yeah.
It's like that's been frustrating me since the beginning. So he does do that a lot. And KD asks for something all the time. He just doesn't get rewarded. I love the fact that it's more physical, and it should help out the Suns in the long run, because this is a team that, obviously needs help defensively. And if the rest can allow them to be more physical, that's going to be a positive. And it goes along with their great shooting when they can figure things out on the offensive end. So it's a good future for the Suns with these calls not being called, and it's a better flow for the game. I mean, tonight's game was only 2 hours long. I know it was a blowout, but they always manage to push it to 2.5 hours, and tonight it was only about 2 hours long. So it's nice for that reason too.
They talked about it on the Bill Simmons podcast, how perhaps the NBA is getting these players prepared to play international ball, which is much more quicker, which is more free flowing, which does have a lot more contact. But here's my gripe. As a Suns fan, here's my gripe. Okay, I got two things. One, there's the first apron and second apron right when the Suns decide to start fucking spending money. Like, of course. And two, they start to call these, or they start to let contact go right when the Suns have a team that likes to attack the cylinder, right? Like, Nurkic is down there all the time, putting the ball up. He's not fading away from everything. He's trying to go through guys, and now they don't call the fouls. Beal's notorious for getting to the line. KD's notorious for getting to the line. We have these guys who have made a career of at least getting 8 free throws a game, and now the league's like, listen, no, we don't call that anymore. We talked about it in Indianapolis. They locked Scott Foster down. They chained him to the ground. They shoved a cucumber up his butt, and they decided, no, we are not doing that anymore. And as a Suns fan, it just feels like anytime something could benefit us, the league zags the other way. So it's just something that I noticed.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. It really is a thing, and I've thought about that too. And then you got to look at I don't want to bring him up. DeAndre Ayton's been kind of killing it too lately, but it has nothing to do with anything.
Good. Hey, good. The Max Center is kicking ass, man. Way to go, DA. I saw it. It was was it 28 and 15?
Yeah, 24 and 15 or something.
Kill it.
Yeah, 6 games.
I I bet you guys didn't expect me to play that drop.
Oh no,
tonight.
but hey, if you want to blame
Slay,
anything
Queen,
coming
slay.
into these losses, blame that guy. Blame DeAndre Ayton. I'm not about blaming anybody in my life of difficulty, but blame Ayton, dude. It's his whole fucking fault for not very fucking trying. Otherwise, we'd be like the Celtics and have our core together. Western Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals every fucking year if this guy gave a shit.
You heard it here first, Jamsters. Against the Celtics, we lost because we didn't have DeAndre Ayton. Okay.
Big Dick Booker.
Shooting night for Devin Booker. 9 of 20 from the field, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. He did lead the team in scoring with 23 points, 7 assists as well, 2 rebounds, no turnovers, and that's what I like to see from Devin Booker. Just kind of a rough night. You know, he's been to the Garden before. So here's something interesting that I was doing before the game. Okay, and I think that this calls for a trivia time.
You know what time it is.
Trivia time.
Don't know if anybody knows this, but Devin Booker, once upon a time, scored 70 points at TD Garden against the Boston Celtics. So you take a look at, prior to tonight, you take a look at his average against the Celtics in his career, and he averages 26.8 points per game. And he's played in 13 games. So the question I have for you and the Jamsters, how many points per game has he averaged against the Celtics if he didn't score in that, didn't go for 70 points that night?
Was it like 16 points?
No, it's not that much. I mean, that much of a variable. It's like 22.8 points per game.
Oh.
So a lot of people say, hey, Booker owns the Celtics. It's like, no. He had 70 points once in a loss.
Yeah.
Okay. So and I like that about the JJ Redick podcast. And you mentioned that we were going to mention it. We're going to mention it. The Old Man in the Three, JJ Redick's podcast. He had about a 1-hour interview with Devin Booker. And we know that Devin Booker doesn't typically open up to anybody in the media. He's very private. We don't hear from him a lot, but it was a nice kind of back and forth conversation. You said at the beginning of the podcast, boring. I will agree with that. Booker likes to be boring. He's not trying to be overly excited on things. He likes to keep it low key. But that was one of the things that he said when he brought it up. And by he, I mean JJ Redick brought up the 70-point game. He's like, you had 70. He's like, you had 70. Booker's like, in a loss. So even he called it. What were your thoughts on Devin Booker tonight? What were your thoughts on some of the things that he said in the pod?
Oh, Devin Booker's got the sexiest voice ever. You know what I mean?
So, hey, that's that big dick energy.
Yeah. Tonight, I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
The
either,
fuck,
dude.
Book? Where are you at, man? No, it's frustrating to watch.
Where you at?
It is really frustrating. You want him to be top of the league, one of those guys, like he was, and it's not there. The most frustrating part is I don't think he is fully healthy yet, obviously, but I don't know if he will be ending the season. So him getting hot in the first quarter is very, very big for this team. Obviously, with him being out, Beal and Durant, like I said earlier, kind of figured things out to get hot. Starts in the first quarter. Kevin Durant's kind of been that guy to lean on in the first quarter. But Book needs to start catching fire in the first, man, and kind of maintain any kind of relevance throughout the rest of the game. But I really do think, like I mentioned earlier, that he needs to be more the ball handler. They did talk about it on the JJ Redick podcast. They even brought up the fourth quarter problems, and Book's like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So no one really knows what to do in that situation. Obviously, we'd have to face it tonight. No, it's awesome, right? But like you said, he likes to keep it boring, doesn't want to reveal too much. He doesn't want to tell teams about their situation at hand where they can't get out of these fourth quarter slumps, and maybe he figured something out. But I don't know. I think that from the JJ Redick podcast to this game, I think we have a player currently where we talked about multiple podcasts ago about SGA being more of a leader or being that guy over Book.
Yeah, that's not what I said. I didn't say he was more of a leader. I just think that he's a better talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think he's a better leader though?
No, I like, how does he lead? What does
He's
he
like
do that leads?
He's like a Steve Nash type on the court, dishing assists. He's a point guard. I feel like that's a leader right there, right?
No, he's a 32-point a night scoring guard who knows how to foul bait, but he's really good at it. Like where is he overall in assists? And he's great. He's great on defense.
His assists, he has to be over 8.
Let's see here. Assists in the league. Top guys. Still scrolling. Booker is averaging 6.8. SGA is 18th in the league, 6.4.
6.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a point guard, quote unquote, but he's not your traditional point guard. He's more of a.
You don't think he's a leader on a team that really has nobody and then top of the West?
I don't think that he's a great leader. Like again, I don't follow OKC enough, but I haven't seen anything from him. I go, that's a great leader. Like Chris Paul, that's a great leader. LeBron James is a leader. I don't know if he's a great leader, but he is a leader. SGA is just an amazing basketball talent, and he's been on teams that have been subpar. And now those teams now have some talent around them, so they finally put some. But that doesn't mean that he's a great leader in my perception. I think that he's a better basketball talent in the long run.
Okay,
that's where I'm with SGA.
Cool.
It is pretty cool. Did mom punch dad?
No, I mean, what was next? Was I? I don't even remember what I was saying, dude.
I don't know. You're talking about SGA being a better leader than.
Doesn't fucking matter. Like anybody fucking cares what I say.
Yeah, bling bling bling. Rolls Royce, yeah, nigga,
Rolls Royce is not rolling against the Boston Celtics. As a member of the Suns this season, he ends the 2 games going 1 of 16 from the field and 1 of 13 from beyond the arc. Rough for Rolls Royce recently. And I guess the question I have for you as it pertains to him is, are we seeing some O'Neal regression? Like he came in here hot, ready to rock, ready to roll, was hitting big threes, was playing defense. And now that he's been here for a little bit, feels like he's kind of fallen off. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're totally right. Just not this bad. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And especially defensively, maybe he needs his other guy with him, Josh Okogie. I mean, they push each other. So that might just be it. I don't think we really... coming into the situation where he was traded here or picked up, I'm sorry. Sorry, I just thought we were going to get what we got already. So it's nice. It's kind of like the Grayson Allen thing where we got so much already. And if he kind of falls off, then it's like, yeah, we already had a really good Grayson Allen season, but now we got to count on him in the playoffs. We were kind of hoping the same thing with Royce O'Neal. So if he can get back to it, that's fine. I'm not too worried. I just like the fact that him and Josh Okogie were a thing. So I think we're really missing. I know it's weird to say. I mean, I've always been a fan of Okogie, what he brings to this team. So I think we're really missing that part of what Royce O'Neal and him both had, for sure.
Yeah, it's like, Batman needs his Robin on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, it's really kind of shocking how much he's fallen off. You take a look, like his first 9 games with the Suns, he was averaging 10.2 points per game and shooting 40% from beyond the arc. But since then, in the last 5 games in which he's played, he's averaging just not a lot of points. I don't know the point total, but he's only shooting 20.8% from beyond the arc. So he's definitely kind of fallen off. And that does kind of align with Okogie being out. It's almost like he gives him I don't know what it is offensively, but he's definitely fallen off, and it's kind of concerning. Yeah. But tomorrow's Charlotte, so we'll see.
So pressing. I hate this season so fucking much.
I'm okay.
I really
it's all good. It's all good.
No,
I'll tell you this, okay?
What?
I was hanging out in Boston tonight.
Oh no.
Okay. Batman was not in Boston. I got a new disguise. Do you have any idea what I have not told Matthew?
I think I know what it's gonna be.
What's it gonna be? Yeah, guess.
Leprechaun?
A leprechaun. I did say green, didn't I? The subreddit stakeout, ladies and jamsters. The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, hello, Jamsters. I'm Kermit the Frog, and I was hanging out in Boston tonight because, I'm green, and I figured they would not assault me for hanging out on their subreddit tonight. So let's talk about what the Boston Celtics fans were saying on their subreddit. Shall we, Matthew? How are you? Have you seen Miss Piggy? Has anyone seen Miss Piggy?
Okay, poor woman.
I guess not. Where's that Valley girl who's normally on here? I'd like to give her a piece of my mind. So here are some of the things that were said on the Boston Celtics subreddit. Hold on. Let me have a little bit of this Coors Light.
Please let Matthew be picky. Oh no.
The first comment, this big piece of shit, number 20 for the Suns, be hooking and setting illegal screens the whole game, and crickets from the refs. O'Neal has more uncalled moving screens than shot attempts per quarter. I'm sorry, but I love KD. Wish he came here in 2016. I love his talent, but I hate his personality. Miss Piggy. If Royce could hit the side of a barn, the Suns would be so much better. The Celtics are actually a team, not a collection of talented individuals like the Suns. I despise Nurkic. Such a bitch. Ugly ass Bol really hitting it all, huh? We need to trade for Bol. Grayson Allen still has the most punchable face in the NBA. Grayson Allen looks like the younger version of the old grandpa from Up. And the last thing on the subreddit for the Boston Celtics, suck a dick, Grayson Allen. The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Oh, dude.
So how's that, Jamsters versus Batman?
Oh my gosh, dude. I kind of want to see them both.
Keith
Batman
Nettles.
and Kermit.
Keith Nettles. It's easier hearing it from the frog.
That was good, dude. I did not expect that.
Yeah,
did you
look.
order that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I thought about it the other day. You know me, like I'll walk around the house singing songs like give me a song. I don't know. Somebody give me a song in the chat. My poor wife, she hates it so much. What's that?
Hips Don't Lie by Shakira.
I'm on tonight and my hips don't lie and I'm starting to feel it's right. Drives my nuts. Fucking my wife fucking
Walking by the hallway. Just
my wife hates, and then she saw she saw this thing. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
My god, dude.
She's like, "No."
She's oh my god, dude, my jaw hurts.
Okay, it worked. Let's talk a little bit about Bol. How about that?
Let's do it.
In the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's
Bol, motherfucker. Bol needs more minutes. I think that's.
Wait, are you actually saying that?
Yes, I just said that. Snippet. 15 minutes, 4 or 5 from the field, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Such a soft touch around the rim. Such a smooth 3-point shooter. Bol. Oh, how I love thee.
Bol doesn't just need more minutes. He needs to go get them. He needs to fucking say something to the media. Like, speak up and go get those minutes because he had 8 minutes, 10 points in the first half.
Yeah.
It was only in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not always going to be there, but there's still some yips to his game. And the only reason that's there is because he's not getting consistent minutes. Like, I know we're losing a lot of these games. So we can't just say like, well, Bol, like if we were to lose a game and it was Bol's fault, I understand maybe. But while we're losing these games and we're trying to just figure ourselves out, we got to throw him in the mix, man, because my mind has not changed to where this guy is going to be a little bit of a difference maker. He's going to be a difference maker in the playoffs in certain games. And I don't care about matchups or anything like that. Just play him. I liked it when they were playing him with KD tonight. In Nurkic, I love that lineup where they just kind of go big and he can kind of roam around as like a small forward, roam around back and forth, tipping the ball out to Booker on that one possession, give us an extra chance. No one else can do that but him. That was a big possession. We scored a bucket there when we were in a slump. So he brings a lot to this team, man. I just don't understand it. That's the one thing with Frank Vogel. It fucking drives me nuts. And whenever he talks about that shit, he's like, such a fucking conniving cunt. Oh my gosh, hold on.
Matthew's very upset. No, I completely agree. Bol needs more minutes, and I believe I hope the Frank Vogel Twitter account saw that and post that. I want everyone to see that over and over again. I'm just kidding.
I wonder who that really is. I think I know who it is.
You think so?
Yeah.
No,
No, actually, I have no idea.
You're a liar. You think you know who it is. It's Kermit over here.
It might be Kermit, dude. How does it
Kermit.
feel, man?
What's that?
You should do Batman with Kermit.
That's what everyone's saying is like, where is she? She's right over
Yeah,
here.
everyone wants me to be Piggy, Miss Piggy.
And then I could do Family Guy's voice. Oh my god. Where's fucking sons? Can you believe that shit? There's fucking pieces of shit. Where the fuck? Why is Bol not playing? That stupid son of a bitch Vogel. No, I definitely think that he's effective when he's out there, right? He provides you effective minutes. And that's what you need. I see these players come in and they're up and down. I feel like, yeah, he has some challenges, defensive, whatever, dude. He's giving you productive fucking minutes. The opposing fan bases it's like the same thing every time on the subreddit. Oh shit, here comes Bull. Oh my god, first generation went. Fuck, he hit a three. Oh fucking. Oh, he blocked it. Let's see, lay in. Oh, did you see that dunk? We need to trade for Ball. And like that's where they always end up for. So
did you see Shaq?
No, I didn't. He was
eating whole cereal because
it was
first half.
It was blacked out on TNT.
Yeah,
at least on
I saw it on Twitter. I wasn't able to watch TNT. Charles Barkley was tired anyway, so it wasn't funny.
Good. I'll tell you, who wasn't tired. It was Grayson Allen.
Hi, Barbie.
Oh, hi, Alan.
Oh, Grayson Allen, our fuck shit up guy.
I just had to give a shout out to Grayson Allen tonight. 20 points on 8 of 9 shooting, including 4 of 5 from beyond the arc, 3 rebounds. He was like our only offensive force, I felt like, in the second half. So a great GA game. He was fucking some shit up. And again, the last comment by Kermit the Frog is how Grayson Allen need to put his lips around a phalange and suck upon it.
Jeez. Well, like Book says, you're not hated until you start winning. So that's why he's hated, right?
Until you're a threat.
Until you're a threat, yep.
Not hated till you're a threat. Good. Yeah, man. Let's talk about fuck.
Jam star of the game.
All right, Jamster, subscribe, rate, review, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not watching on YouTube, head over to our YouTube channel, Sun's Jam Session. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe, please. It's the best way to support our show. Go live after every game. We're here for you. Be there for us. And if you want to, you can go to Apple Podcasts and you can leave us a review, a 5-star review. If you rate us 5 stars, you write a review. We'll read it right here on the podcast, like the one we got from Roy H. Ali. Says, great pod. Hi, it's me, Roy. Been listening to you guys since the bubble. You guys are great stress relief. Love to listen to you guys when I'm at college or on the way to work. It helps me get some knowledge about the Suns and what people think about the team. Also, love the Reddit segment. Great. So thank you to Roy for taking some time out of your day to rate us 5 stars and put it on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate that. Matthew loves it very much. So who are you giving your jam star to, Matthew?
Grayson Allen.
Damn it.
Bol.
Is Grayson Allen or Bol?
I'm going to split it this time.
Oh.
I feel like everyone gets to split it. I don't think I split it this year, so I'm going to do a split. I'm going to do Bol, Grayson Allen, Bol.
Bol, GA, Bol. Logged. There you go. Let's see what some of the Jamsters are saying, shall we? Kip, a phalange. The phalange. Grayson Allen, our most consistent player all season long. Keith Nettles gives it to Kermie. Well, thank you, Keith. Jamstar Nurk. KP, I don't think the last subreddit said suck on a finger. It didn't. GA from Seth says for the full game effort. So there you go, Jamsters. Next up for the Suns tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Arizona start. They're playing the Charlotte Hornets. What are your thoughts on that team, Matthew?
Nothing. Disappointment, man. I was excited at the beginning of the year, but a lot of things went downhill. For the matchup itself, I'll be honest, it's a Friday night early game, and I'm kind of still depressed after this one, and I don't really care what happens next game. Obviously, I want to win, but we'll talk about it after. I don't know, man. I just one of those games that's just in the way of everything else you want. Like I don't want to play the Hornets. I want to play another tough team.
We will on
waste of
fucking
time.
Sunday, okay? When we play the Bucks.
All right.
Like,
Get a win.
I want to win. Let's go get a win. This is a team that, again, fun fact, don't know if anybody knows this, but the Charlotte Hornets have the exact same color purple as the Phoenix Suns. They both have Pantone 275C. Like, I was like, what? I was looking at that today because I look at weird things, and I was like, what? They copycats, you sons of bitches. But yeah, it's a team that, 29th overall in points allowed, last in the league in net rating, a team that has LaMelo Ball out. Terry Rozier was their next best player. They traded him. He went for 42 or 3 points against the Suns when they played here in Phoenix. I was there. I was at that game with my nephew. I'll never forget it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Terry Rozier's cooking us. We ended up winning that game pretty easily, but of course we let somebody go off. So they're a team that's just, they're the Hornets, man. They also are a team that has the, I think, 29th worst attendance. So don't expect a rocking house over there at the Spectrum Arena in Charlotte. So all the arrows are pointing to a win for the Suns. What do you think? So the Suns have played in 11 back-to-backs this season. What do you think their record is?
The second game?
Yes.
I would say 11 back-to-backs. So let's go. Let's go 3-8.
They are 7-4.
Ooh, okay.
7-4 on second nights of back-to-backs. So all the arrows are pointing that the Suns should win this game. So Suns, go win this game. Because again, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, 10 a.m. local time here in Arizona on Sunday morning. And that's going to be a tough team, a team that's starting to play a lot better, a team that's starting to lock in defensively. Don't get caught in any of that like trap game crap. I'm bleeding.
Oh, too much Kermit, huh? Too much for you?
Kermit's down there biting me. Get out of here, Kermit. Don't punch me.
What happens when you raw dog it, dude? Start bleeding.
Bleeding everywhere. Well, I think I'm gonna go get some Taco Bell. Yeah, anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, well, fuck it, why not?
Right.
I'm really depressed inside. I'm just trying to be happy.
All right, well, go get Taco Bell then, I guess, huh?
I will. Everyone, thanks for hanging out with us.
Go home, family. Is that